class. I'm so sorry about all of that. I had to swap my laptop. So hope we are all good today. How we all doing, please? Hello. Oh,
How with
beauty.
you?
Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead with our class for today. So today we'll be talking about mostly formula bars. Now, what is formula bar in Excel? Formula bar is where Excel thinks for you. Like anytime you want to do any calculation, you use your formula bar. Now, this place is what we call the formula, the formula bar. So, whenever you want to do anything about calculation, the first thing you have to think of first is you always have to use the equal sign. If you do not put this equal sign, Excel wouldn't see it as if you're trying to tell it to do something for you. Now, this is what I mean. Let's say we want to do 2 plus 2. We'll put equal sign. We'll do 2 plus 2. I'll press enter. It gives us 4. Now, if we don't put this equal sign, now let's try not putting the equal sign. Let's come down here. And then we'll do 2 plus 2 plus 2. And we click on enter. It wouldn't actually give us anything. So for your formulas to work, you always have to put your equal sign. You can also write your calculations in the formula bar, which is here. You write equal to 3 plus 3. And you click on enter and you will see the results here. So that is to say, for everything we'll be doing today, for most of the calculations or all of the calculations in Excel, we are using equal sign. With that being said, now I'm going to be teaching us how to do sum, average, mean, and max. And we're going to proceed from there. Okay, so we all know what sum is. Please, if you can't hear me, please do let me know. Hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Thank you. Okay, so now we are going to start with sum. Sum means adding up things. We have average, which is division of just like finding the mean. We have the maximum, we have count, and we have mean. Now, just like I said before, when we want to do this, let's assume now we want to calculate Friday and Saturday sales. This is a sales record. So we'll do equal to sum. Excel automatically just shows you um calculations related to sum. We have some ifs and other kind of sums, but we are using sum. So you click on the sums. It's always advisable to always use the one that is brought out by Excel. So we click on sum. Now we click on the cell that we want to do the calculations for. We click on this and then we put a comma. Remember, we're calculating for January of Friday and Saturday. Click a comma and then click on this and cover the bracket and enter. It automatically calculates that for us. Now, the good thing about Excel is this. If you want to calculate these other ones, you don't have to be doing it one by one. You don't have to do another equal sum and then you select. You can actually just come to this one you already calculated. Make sure that you have this thick small black sign and then drag down. Excel would automatically calculate every other Fridays and Saturday calculations for the two rows. Now, if we're also to do now, I also show us a different thing. There's an automation in Excel. If you do this now, remember what we did here. You can see the formula bar. This was what we did. We did sum equals sum. We did F2, comma, and F and G2. Now I want to do something else. Let's assume we want to calculate just for Tuesday and Thursday. Let me show you another way of doing an automated calculation. We'll do equal to sum. We'll choose this. We'll click on this. And then, okay, let's say we want to do for month. We click on these two together. Highlight it and click. Oh, that's a mistake. Let's do that again. We'll do equals sum. Now we select these two together and we'll enter. Now I want to also do this same thing that I just did here. So you understand what I mean by the automation that Excel does. Remember, we're doing the same sum and we'll select one. The way I did it the first time, I put comma this time around. Then I select the second one and then I cover my brackets and click on enter. Now this would give us the same results. But now let's assume you made a mistake, or maybe this 492 is not supposed to be 492. When you went to cross check your questions or your main data set, you notice it was 495. So now we want to change this to 495. I'll click enter. You see, Excel automatically helps you calculate this. Are you getting me? Excel will automatically help you calculate it. So there's an automation that goes in Excel that when you do all of these things together, you don't have to always go back to be imputing it every time. Now you can also do for average. Average is just you do equal to average. Let's say we want to have an average of everything that happened for Monday from January to December, and we click on cover the brackets and enter. Now this is the average for everything that happened from January to December. The same way, if you want to find the maximum sales you made of every Monday that is in January to December, all you have to do is you do equals, use the max formula, and then you highlight every place that you want to have the information from and cover your bracket and enter. Now the highest is actually 461. Where is 461 here? This is it. Now you would not really appreciate this because this is a small data and you can easily just use your eyes and find them. But when you're actually working for a company, or you're working for, or you're even doing your own analysis for your shops, you would have max, like much numbers to work on. That's when these numbers comes in handy. This sum, max, if you want to find the mean, you do equal to sorry, you do equal to mean and also and get the least numbers from here. If maybe you want to find the max from all of your sales, all you have to do is highlight everything. Okay, write on equals 5 equals max. Now we highlight everything, the information that we want to get our max from. We cover the bracket and we enter. This is 798. So the highest amount of money you sold from January to December, or from the Monday to Sunday, is 798 naira. I already taught us conditional formatting already. But then let me now show you something that is even nicer, that is cooler. Now let's assume now you have a much data set, and now you want to just, instead of using your eyes to find the max and the mean. You come to conditional formatting. You go to home, conditional formatting. You come to top bottom rules. You click on top 10. Let's say we want to find the top 2 sales we made, and then we'll give it the color we want. If we want it to be in yellow so that we can easily see it, or if we want to be light green, and then we okay it. You see, it automatically just helps you highlight your maximum sales. If you want to do for the minimum sales, you can also do that. You have to learn everything for this conditional format, and I've taught us this already in the last class. If you want to watch the video, please go to our website, our YouTube handle, and you will see everything on conditional formatting. Conditional formatting helps you see things easily. You can find things that is less than a certain amount of number, that is equal to a certain amount of number. All of this helps you because normally when you're working with Excel, you're working with large data sets. It's not just this small one. So it will be difficult for you to be pinpointing where what number is. So this conditional formatting helps you easily find out the questions you're asking yourself or the questions your boss has given you in your workplace to handle. So with that being said, if you are given an Excel file, can you do sum? Can you do max? Can you do mean? Can you find an average? Yes or no, please? Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, God.
Okay, so if you are actually given an opportunity to work on an Excel sheet, with this little thing I just taught you now, would you be able to handle sum, max, mean, and average? Uh, why is nobody answering? Okay, thank you, Modestine. Thank you so much. Okay, so now I'm going to teach us this. Uh, there's another automation that is also very nice in Excel. Now, the good thing about Excel is you don't have to be a mathematician or an expert to be able to handle Excel. Excel is intelligent enough to make things easy for you. So now let me teach you something else that Excel does that even makes calculation of this max, mean, average, count, and max makes it easy for us to calculate. Now that is going to be turning this data set into a table. How is that done? Let me show us how it is done. Okay, so let's undo this. When you want to undo something, you click on Control Z, and everything you've done the last time automatically just goes off. So let's take these ones out. We don't need them. Mm. Okay, now so we are going to be turning this data set into a table. Now, to highlight everything, first of all, you click on where the data is and write and click on Control A. Control A helps you highlight everything instead of holding and dragging everything. Now, how do we turn this into a table? We go to Insert and we come to this place and we click Table. It's saying where is the data for your table. You can see this line moving, showing that is where our data set is. Always make sure you click that my table has headers, meaning that my table has the first columns are the headers. If you don't tick it, it automatically assume that it's among your data set that I want to use and do calculations. So we okay. And now you see there's something new that just came up here. There's a design that came up. Now you can switch it to any of the designs you want. You want to be in purple, in black and white, anyhow you want it. So let's just leave it to blue. Okay. Now this is what I was saying. Before I was telling us we could do equals sum equals max equals this. Now this is the good thing about table. Turning your data set into a table is not just for beautifications. No. When you turn your data set into a table, you can do automatic formatting and filtering on all of the header rows. Now this is what I mean. Are you guys seeing a drop down here? When you click on it, you can see all of the months that is available in this data set. Now let's assume I just want informations of just for sorry, for January. All I have to do is I remove this, select all, then I just select January and I okay it. It brings out only informations of January. Now, if this data set was up to, let's say, 3,000, all of the Januaries in that data set will be out. So you don't have to be cross-checking it one by one to know, oh, okay, this is January. Let me bring out the information. So you can do all of your calculations for January, for February, all of them. But you have to turn your data set into a table to be able to do that. If you left it the way it was before we turned it into a table, you have to manually go and be looking for where January is, where February is, and where other months are. So turning a data set into a table is not just for beautification. It helps automate formatting. It makes it easy for you. And also, now let's Control Z. Also, the other thing you can do when you turn your dataset into a table is this. You can instantly add a total row. This is what I mean. Let me show us. So you click on this place. Under this design, there is a place called total row. You click on it. It automatically does your calculations of sum, max, anything you want. Now, if you click on this place, come down here, it gives us the sum of everything. Oh, this should have been Sunday, not column 1. It gives us all of the calculations for Sunday, all of the calculations here. So we do not need to start doing equals sum, then we highlight all of the columns there. When you turn your data set into a table, you can easily do these things without doing all those manual labor we were doing before. If you don't want sum and it's the average you want to do, you click on this, it automatically calculates the average for all of column Sunday. If you want to do it for Saturday, you come here, choose the sum, it calculates it for you. If you want to find the max in Friday, you come down here, you choose max, and it brings out the information, which is the maximum sale you made. So we do not have to do all of those calculations again. That is the beautiful thing about turning your data set into tables. And also with tables, you can do charts easily. You can do pivot tables easily. We'll go into that tomorrow, where we'll build our own charts. And I'm sure you guys would really enjoy tomorrow's class. So let's go back to what we are doing now. So yes, what I was saying is this. Tables are preferred source for pivot tables because their dynamic range ensures your tables always include the newest data. Now, the good thing about these tables is this. You know that thing, I don't know if you've checked on jobs where some people will tell you you have to do an automation so that whenever a new data set is added to the data set, maybe new informations, new sales are made and it's added, so that it automatically calculates what is being done, like maybe the sum or the max. It automatically does it without you actually doing the work. This is what they mean. You have to first of all turn your data set into a table before it can do the automation for you. If you don't turn it into a table, you have to manually always come back to your data set to do all of these calculations. I hope this is well understood. So, a recap how to turn your data set into a table. First of all, you go to insert, Click on tables. You've already highlighted your data sets using Control A, and then it automatically turns your data set into a table. And I hope this is well understood. I hope I did justice to this. Okay, so now let's do a calculation. Let me show you another automation that is so nice with this table. Let's do a little calculation. So let's say we want to know 10% of okay, let's assume we want to pay our sales rep 10% of every sale they made. And now so we want to calculate 10%. So we'll do equal to, we'll click on this. We want to calculate 10% of of every sale that was made for Sundays of from January to December. So we'll do equal to that. We've selected it, then times 0.1. That's to get 10%. And we enter. Now you see, then before we turned this into a table, we had to drag all of it down. But this time around, it's calculated the 10% of every information on that column for you. We highlighted from Sunday. So it did the 10% of every information. We didn't even have to start dragging. That's the beauty of using a table. Not everybody knows about this. Not everybody knows about this part of using a table for Excel. So yes, because you're in this class, you should know that immediately you get a data set, turn it into a table. So your calculations are easy for you to do. When you start handling big data, you will actually understand the more importance of turning your data into a table. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to be we would go into another place. We'll be talking about formatting. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. But please, can you do that 10% again? Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Let me do that again. Okay. Mm, let's go back. Let's control. Remember, I said when you want when you want to go back, you do Control Z. If you want to undo, Control Y. If you want to go back, Control Z. If you want to come back, Control Y. So now let's do it again. Okay, so let's assume sorry. Let's assume we want to get a 10%. Okay, we want to pay our sales rep that works on all of the Saturdays. We pay them 10% of the sales they made. So, and let's assume we want to calculate for Saturday. So we do equal to, we'll click on the cell that we want to make our calculations on. Let's say it's for Saturday times 0.1. Then we click enter. With table, it automatically just gives you everything. You don't have to start dragging. You don't have to drag. Now imagine you have almost 1 million rows. You'll be dragging and dragging and dragging. But once you've turned your data set into a table, it's like it's so easy. It makes it easy for you to just do your calculations. So is that understood?
Perfect. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so now let's move to another part of the class. So we are going to be doing formatting. Now the problem, if you look at this data set, you will see that they're actually not consistent. Sorry. You see John is spelled with capital letter and small letter. We have Adam. The names are not, the capitalization of the names is different, is scattered. So if maybe you are working in an organization and they give you this and tell you, clean my data set for me, please. My data set is not looking nice. Or somebody tells you, some of the jobs that I've actually gotten for Excel is just help me clean this data set. So we are going to be cleaning these data sets together. Okay, so now we're going to start with making all of these names to have a proper capitalization. If maybe your boss or the place you work, they wanted to do it all in capital letter, what you use is upper. If you want everything to be in small letter, you use lower. If you want everything to, like, the first letter to start with the capital letter, you use proper. So now let's handle. Okay, oh, I already did this. Let's delete this one already. Delete, sorry. Okay, so remember what I told you. The first thing, whenever you want to do any calculation of any sort, you first of all put your equal sign. So we want this sorry, we want this John, we want the first letter to start with J and other one small letter. So we use proper. Type proper. And you click on the cell you want to do your calculation on. Cover it and enter. It automatically just does it for you. Now, this is what I was saying. If this, you can see the difference between this one and this one. This one has a drop down and colors. This one is a table. This one isn't a table. If this was a table, it would have automatically just helped us do the rest. But because it's not a table, it's waiting for us to continue the hard job, the hard labor. So now let's assume now, okay, we want all capital letter. We don't want it to just be the first word to be just capital letter. What we do is equal to, we use upper. So let's say we want this to be all in capital letter. Now it's capital letter. Now if you want everything to be in small letter, you use lower, lower. We don't have much time, so now let's take this off. So we are okay with this, and we want everything to look like the way the proper is. That starts the first letter is capital letter and the rest is small letter. So like I said, make sure your mouse is looking like this small dark sign, so they can drag it down. We'll do the hard labor together. And you see, it changes everything. You can see this John that was all capital letter turned into the normal way we wanted it to be. Now let's do the same thing. If you want to add a different column, you just go to insert and it automatically adds. So let's do for the last name. Let's call this one proper so that we'll know what we are doing. Proper. Okay, so we'll do equal to proper, and we'll click on this and enter, and let's drag it down. So this is the first step to making your capitalizations even, to make it look the way it should be, to be proper. You should not have your words in big and small letter. That is not organized at all. So now I'm going to teach us how to combine these two names. Now let's assume your boss does not want first name and last name. He wants the two names to be together. We use in this stage, we use the word called CONCAT. CONCAT. This is the spelling here. Sorry, you guys can't see my screen. Can you
I
guys see
can
my
see your
screen?
screen.
Somebody is
Yes.
complaining.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think someone was complaining. Okay, so now to combine to combine the first name and the last name. Oh, okay. Oh, you guys didn't even correct me. I still did this proper for this same A, not B. Okay, so let's change that.
I corrected you now. Check
Oh,
it
I
with
did. Oh, thank you. I did know. Thank you. Okay, so let's change it. Thank you. So B. Enter. Now we have to drag it down. Okay. So now we want to combine the two names together. So let's just go. We use the word concat. So remember the first thing is equal to. Now there are two ways of doing concating, which is joining two columns or three columns together. This is the first way. You click on the cell you want to join together. This is it. We want to join this one and this one together. So we click on it and then we'll put and sign, and we'll click on the other one and then we'll click enter. You see the names are together. This is not looking nice. So what should we do to make these names not to be together? Let's go back. You can also do your edit in this formula bar if you want to. You can also do it here. So what what we have to do is this. In this place where there is and, you put the semicolon, put a space in between, you put another semicolon. Is that what they call semicolon? The two I think
indented
that's
comma.
hyphen,
That's indented
inverted
comma.
comma. Thank you. So then you put and again here, and now this and is like saying is like the joiner that helps join cells together. This one here, this inverted comma, the space here. Now the space is what would help demarcate two cells together. The and acts like the binder between the two cells. Now this space here, this hyphen and then this space is what puts space in between the two cells. Let's click on enter so that you see. Now you see this space here. If maybe we wanted something else to be here, instead of putting a space, can put let's put the hyphen. I will click on enter. Are you seeing that there's a hyphen there? So it depends on how you want to actually modify your data. With that being said, I want it to be like this. I want a space to be in between. I will click enter. Now there's another second way of doing this. That's the one. That's number one. The second way of doing this is this. Remember in this first one we didn't use concat, but in this second one we use concat. We use right concat. The form is concatenate, but in some of the cell versions you can also see concat. So see concat is still the same thing. See concatenate is the same thing. So now we click on this. We put a comma. Now here the comma for concatenate, use the concatenate. You don't use and a comma. Comma here acts as the binder, like and acts as the binder when you use the concat in the first one. Now you click on this. Remember I said we want to put a space. We use this. Put space and we use this, and then we put comma again, and then the bracket and end, and voila. So your boss, anybody asks you, I don't want the first, the last, and the last separate. I want everything together. You can use either concat, this, or you can do it this way. Mostly prefer doing it this way, but anyone, but anyone wants. So let's remove one. So we drag down. Now, assuming your data came in this, and your boss says, okay, I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be first and last. How do you do that? Sorry. You highlight data cancel. Then you go to data. Then come to text, come to data. You wrote text to column. You click on it. Now see the delimiter, where it's delimited. So now this delimiter means either come in space, there's a hyphen in between the there's colon, like something that separates things. Delimit. Now we delimited. Now to next is the delimiter that says the name. Okay, let me go here. The limiter that separates two is space in between them. The delimiter that separates these two is the space in between them. Me trying to break this here. Here will be dot in between each of the name. So something that just separates things. I hope that is for us. Okay. Add more space here. I'll do an extra space. So let's go back to go to that. You go next to column, choose limited because to or space between. Now, which of the delimiters do you have? The delimiter we have here is space. It's not semicolon, it's not it's space. Remove tab, remove tab, click on this. See when we click on this, the markation that can actually enter the move it. So you guys see it. Now no separation, but the limit is space. So click on this. It's showing you how now we do not want we want this to be we click on finish. See that that okay. What is
When you're doing